This Penguin Nugget is about part two of setting up your Ansible control node. As mentioned in part one, the Ansible execution environment is basically a container, and it's run using Pubmed. Pubmed is installed since RHEL 8 and higher. And just to confirm, here's Pubmed version, and I have version 4.2 at the time of this recording. You're going to have to log into the registry where you want to download the execution environment, the Ansible execution environment. So I'm going to log into the registry at redhat.io. So pubmed login registry.redhat.io. I'm using my Red Hat login credentials, and you're going to have to wait for login succeeded. From there, you should be able to search for the execution environment that you want. I want the latest one for RHEL 9. There are ones available for RHEL 8, but I'm looking for the latest execution environment for RHEL 9. For this reason, I ran a Podman search, searching for Ansible automation and gripping for execution environment supported RHEL 9, and it filtered out the single most matching entry, and that is exactly Ansible automation platform. Latest version at the time of this recording is -24, execution environment supported for RHEL 9. And once this is confirmed, I use the command pubmed pull to pull that particular container. Remember, this whole deal with Ansible navigation and execution environment is running Ansible in a container. So I'm using pubmed to pull that container. This happened successfully, and I got a number for my unique identifier, for my unique container identifier right here. I have similar versions of that execution environment as containers. So I ran the command Ansible-navigator images, and you can see I've got two versions for RHEL 8, right? There is, and I also got a version for an image for RHEL 9. Now, the container, the image that I really want to use and the execution environment that I really want to use is the latest execution environment for version 9. So to do that, I had to explicitly specify that in my configuration file, in my Ansible-navigator configuration file. I'll get to that in a minute. So this part here, we're looking at some config files. These files need to be in your Ansible project subdirectory. So I switched my path to Ansible_projects. That's where I have my Ansible playbooks. And here is my Ansible config file. And basically the defaults is specify the name of your inventory file, and I basically named it inventory. Specify which user you're going to be used to manage your remote nodes. I created a user and named it Ansible. Host key checking is set to false. Ask pass set to false. Collections, you'll learn more about collections later on. I'm putting all collections in my current working directory, which is my Ansible projects directory. A second important part of your Ansible config file is to specify the parameters for privilege escalation. Become is true because in so many tasks, I would need Ansible to elevate the privileges to root level access. Become method is sudo, and it will become root, and I don't want it to ask for a passphrase. And from there, you can look into the Ansible-navigator YAML, which has the configuration for the Ansible navigator, okay? So, and the configuration for Ansible navigator is saved as a YAML file, okay? And basically, here I'm specifying that the execution environment that I want to choose is a RHEL 9. Because if you remember, right, I had 3 different containers, but I specifically wanted to use RAL9. So I specified this here, right? And policy missing, basically, pull policy missing, basically, I'm telling Ansible not to uh, try to fetch the latest version of the container every time I want a playbook. If this part is not stated in your Ansible navigator, you will notice that every time you want a playbook, is going to want to go and pull the latest version of your container or execution environment. And I don't want that. That's just wasting time. The last part is you will see my inventory, and I really have a simple inventory file. Remember, I saved my inventory in a file called inventory as specified here. And I really have just 2 managed nodes. I named them DB servers, and the name is Ansible 1 and Ansible 2. And that should complete the setup for your control node. Thank you for tuning in.